Major League Baseball trade deadline has been historic and epic. Oh, Brian, you're supposed to say something, Brian.
Really?
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
And we are back. That wasn't rehearsed. That was just off the top. We are back. The MLB Baseball Trade Deadline. It's over, right? The battlegrounds have been drawn. The lines are set. Trades have been made. Both the Yankees, both the Mets. We're going to jump into it. It's your guy, Hector Beauchamp, Uptown Sports TV, with my co-host, Grace Monroe from the Yankees Morning Brew. And I got my man, Brian Fonseca. Brian, I'll kick it over to you so you can say what up to your people.
I thought you were going to let the beat run for a little bit longer. I felt well, not anymore. Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like in high school, perhaps even a year or so beyond that, but we're past that at that point. But yeah, New York baseball is up right now. All right, both teams got busy. Both teams got absolutely busy. So I'm excited to talk about this with y'all.
Yeah, definitely. And on the bottom, of course, like I said, Grace Monroe, and I got my guy Jason, Mr. 161 River Ave. Grace, I'll toss it over to you to say hi to the people, and then kick it over to our man from Mr. 161.
All I want to say is it is 6:19 and Spencer Jones is still a New York Yankee. Okay, all y'all can chill out. I know you're all so attached to this kid. For whatever reason, whatever. I'm fine. Listen, I didn't want to trade him necessarily, but what I wanted was to get the pieces we needed, regardless of whether that required trading him or not. So I didn't just want to send him away, but I wanted to include him as an available player. Whatever. Y'all got your wish. Spencer Jones is still here, number 98 on the MLB Top 100. Holding on strong, too, but whatever. We got what we needed. Jason, I know you love Spencer Jones. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was very, very happy to see him staying. But
wow, that's how happy he was. He just blacked out right
I also
there.
know you're very happy to see Jason Dominguez staying, too, right?
Now we're talking.
And can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you froze for a sec, Jason. You good now? You back?
Good now.
Fuck, man.
I would have been stunned if you guys traded Jason Dominguez. I gotta be honest.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
There's no for me personally, there's no world where I'm like, yeah, I'm trading Jason Dominguez for a reliever or some shit. Like, there's not a chance that was happening if it were me. What was the report that came out that they're only was it Spencer Jones? They were only considering trading him for Paul Skeens.
Yeah, that's what was reported. Reported about John Heyman that the New York Yankees came out there and said that the only person that they traded Spencer Jones for is Paul Skeens. And listen,
I understand that.
And I understand it too, especially when you look at how the Yankees pick in the draft. They always pick late in the draft, so they have to be able to hold on to their first-round picks and try to develop them and hit on them. I'm going to bring up Jason again.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, yeah, I just wanted to add, I think both teams, both the Mets and Yankees, did a good job of getting the majority of what they needed without killing their farm system. There weren't a ton of elite prospects or really any elite prospects that went out the door or anything like that. I think both front offices did a good job on paper of assembling what they needed. And now we'll see. Look, I've told you before, last time we did this, I'm straight up rooting for a Subway Series. I don't care. I want to see it because the last time it happened, I was very, very little, and I don't remember much. I saw the games, but I don't remember much. So.
And that's something that the Subway Series is back on, because when you look at both the Yankees and the Mets, both teams boasted up their bullpen. When you look at the starting rotation, both the Yankees and the Mets were teams that were in on Sandy Alcantara and some of the other starting pitchers that were out there. But at the last moment, they decided, hey, your asking price is just a little bit much for a starting pitcher. Let's pivot and let's try to bolster up and beef up our bullpen. And that's what both the Yankees and the Mets did. The Yankees with Brian Cashman was able to get 7 guys at the trade deadline without touching any of his top 5 prospects. Let that sink in. David Stern from the New York Mets. Look, I kid you not. I was on TikTok live. We was on live from like 2:30 up until like 5. Brian was backstage with me while I was still on TikTok live. But Brian, when the moves were getting announced by the Mets and they kept saying the Mets did this, the Mets did that, all like, Grace, you know what I was doing? I was screaming, thank you, David Stern. Thank you, Steve Cohen. Because if the Mets are out there making moves, that's going to put the fire under Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner to get some moves done.
It felt like every 30 minutes or 20 minutes, I looked at my phone and I'm like, God damn, a New York baseball team is making another move or they're linked to something big. Like I don't remember a trade deadline like this locally where both teams were among the most active teams in the league at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead. I want to throw it over to Jason because I know he wanted to say something before he cut out. So, Jay, I'll toss it over to you and then kick it over to Grace. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We got over 250 people in the building. Whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Facebook, click the link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube. Make sure you guys click the link in my description, subscribe to Brian's channel, and do the same thing. Subscribe to Uptown Sports TV. Go ahead, Jay.
My apologies for getting booted. Anytime you get a phone call, you get booted. I didn't realize that. No. But I was going to say the Yankees acquired a hell of a lot of controllable years, too. Let's just say Luke doesn't come back. Let's just say that Devin Williams doesn't come back. There's a chance they both never come back. They got multiple controllable years from Bird, 3. They got 3 from Duvall and 2 from David Bednar in the bullpen. So they have cushion for the bullpen for the foreseeable future, no matter what happens, right? And they did give up some catching prospects. They sent Jesus Rodriguez to the Giants for Duvall. They sent Flores to the Pirates for Bednar, but they have depth. They didn't get rid of JC. They kept JC, baby. So
let's go.
Yeah.
And they didn't really move anybody except for Oswald Peraza from the Major League roster. He's the only guy that got moved.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But look what they replaced him with. Jake Caballero. Like, oh my God. So this was a very unexpected trade deadline, in my opinion, for the Yankees. And they made up for not getting a starting pitcher by beefing up in a whole lot of other areas. They really, really did. So I give them a very high trade. Very high trade. Very high grade.
Go ahead, Grace.
Honestly, I would give him an A. Not an A+, but an A. And that is like more than 99% of MLB franchise fan bases can say about their GMs and what they did at the trade deadline. For example, I know I always bring up the Rangers, but y'all know I live here in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and the poor Rangers didn't make a single move until about an hour before the trade deadline, and they just added a bullpen arm, and that's it. They need hitters. That's what they need. And their fan base is suffering. They're loyal to the end, nice people fan base. And they are just wishing that they had a GM like Brian Cashman that would go out and make 7 acquisitions at the trade deadline without even giving up any of the big name prospects. I mean, it was an A for me.
Okay. I want to toss it back over to you, Brian. Shout out to everybody who was in the building. Carl, Jacob, Jonathan, Miguel. Guys, drop the like buttons, hit that subscribe buttons. Brian, when it comes to toss it back over to you, we got to get the Mets involved in this conversation. This is not just a Yankee hour, but I want to kick it over to you. Let's get your thoughts from the trade deadline, David Stearns, and all the moves that he made. And, is getting the bullpen, strengthening the bullpen, the route you would have went? Would have rather starting pitcher? Let's get your feelings on that.
I'm stunned they got 3 relievers. I mean, I felt like the bullpen was more important given, just health and just the inconsistencies. Like they had to send Brazoban down, who actually had been playing pretty well earlier this year. I think both GMs, by the way, I give both GMs an A, just in terms of the activity, addressing needs. I think there's probably one other thing the Yankees could have done that could have made it an A+. I would say the same for the Mets. If they got like a third, fourth, like that level of starting pitcher, maybe you can put them up there at an A+, but you address the needs. Like Gregory Soto was fine. And then getting Helsley and Tyler Rogers were two, I thought, bigger moves. And then getting Mullins today, I was like, okay, they address center field now. They got somebody who's better than Taylor, who's a better fielder, who has been a better hitter in the past, is having a down year this year, but like they address needs. That's all you can really do. And obviously the, August deadline no longer exists. So this is kind of it. And we'll see what happens. But I think both GMs, they saw opportunity. The Dodgers are not as scary as some people probably thought coming into the season. And the American League is up for grabs, the National League is up for grabs. And not even just these two teams, but all around baseball. Like, to me, this is the best. And as somebody who covers like basketball more, like this is a better trade deadline because you see the parity around the league and you see just teams being opportunistic and being like, all right, we're making a move. Now we're making a move. It was literally every 10, 15 minutes, some shit would happen. And it was like, it was just the Padres were getting busy. You know what I mean? Like you saw different moves all over the league. I thought it made for a great trade deadline. And I thought, here locally, it's very exciting because both of these teams got involved. But I like what the Mets did. And I sneaky think Mullins could turn his season around probably the most out of everyone they got.
I want to shout out El Consigliere Joe with the $5 super chat, helping us keep the lights on over here at Uptown Sports TV. And for all you guys, if you guys can, drop a like, drop a super chat, whether it's $1 or $2, it does go a long way. He says, don't forget that the Angels threw in 20 packs of Big Chew for Peraza. Listen, I'm kind of hungry, so I could go for some Big Chew right now. Listen, I wish Peraza...
That's not going to fill you up.
It's a snack. It's a snack. It helps until I have dinner. I'm saying right now while I'm on the stream with y'all. But no, I wish Peraza the best. Hopefully with the Angels, he's able to put some type of big league career together. So I just wish Peraza the best.
We won't trade him for Luis Castillo in a package, but we will hold on to him, not really play him, and then move him to the Anaheim Angels for nothing. Okay? So.
Thank you, Grace. I was trying to be nice.
Wishing him the best. I love him. He's a nice guy. Wishing him the best. But that, I'm sorry, didn't ever happen for him.
I think the one trade that I want to touch on real quick that does not have to do with any of our teams, but it set everybody crazy when the Athletics, they don't even have a city, when the A's traded Mason Miller to the San Diego Padres for JP Sears. Traded
with
Mason
JP
Miller,
Sears.
with JP Sears for the number 1 prospect in the San Diego farm system, number 3 overall in baseball, Lourdes de Veras, somebody that they signed during the offseason. So, Brian, I'll throw it over to you because this got everything shaken. This is when all the moves started happening once Mason Miller was traded.
This is the one where, as I was like looking at all the other different live shows that were going on as we were planning ours to react to later, this is the one that people were freaking out about the most, was Mason Miller. But again, like the Padres were, as we said, they were getting busy. And it's funny because in a lot of these trades, I don't feel like we saw, this is one of the rare instances where we did see, correct me if I'm wrong, we saw an elite prospect go back. We didn't see a ton of that in these deals, across these deals. Like we just got done saying like the Yankees made 7 trades. It felt like $7 million. And they didn't give back like a top prospect in any of these deals. And with the Mets, they had 4 players come in, 11 outgoing, no top prospects. Like maybe, and you know how this works in baseball, like we might turn around in 2028, somebody's popping off and it's like, oh, they were in that deal. Like, but as of right now, as far as the MLB 100 goes and just the prospect ratings, this is one of the rare instances where it was different. And I wondered, like, do y'all think, we won't turn this into like a Padres deep dive, but I mean, I don't know. I felt like what they did was pretty risky. just overall. Like
They're
I'm not
always
even
risky.
Yeah. I'm not even sure they're that good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
No, they added a first baseman, right? They added they added a corner outfielder, something that they needed. They added a catcher. They added a closer at the end of that bullpen, and Mason Miller, and somebody that is cheap and has years of control for the next like four seasons going forward. And yes, did they go all in? Absolutely. Are they risking it? 100%. But if you're the San Diego Padres, you're competing in a division with the LA Dodgers. And when you see the Dodgers struggling right now, this may be your only chance over the next 5 years while the Dodgers got all these deferred contracts. This may be your only chance to take advantage of a weak Dodgers team. And so you got to go all the way in. The Dodgers, Mookie Betts is having the worst year of his career. The starting rotation is having injuries. Freddie Freeman is having ups and downs now because he got injured as well. So this is the time for the San Diego Padres to go all in. I'm not sure. Jason, Grace, whoever wants to respond, Brian.
Let's hear from Jason. We haven't heard from Jason
I
enough.
agree 100%. I mean, this is the with the volume of and the magnitude of moves that the Dodgers have made over the last couple of years, the Padres have no choice but to counter the way that they've been countering, right? Make these big time moves. And again, they need these types of moves to complement all the superstar players that they already have here. And in order to compete against the Dodgers, you're going to have to make these types of moves. And AJ Preller, as we know, he's an aggressive GM. He's the guy that traded with Cashman for the Soto Grisham trade. So, and he's not afraid to be bold. And if you want to be competitive with the Dodgers and in the foreseeable future, you're going to have to play the big, play in the big park. They're consistently doing that every year. I give them a lot of credit for that. They haven't taken that next step and gotten over the hump yet, but they're definitely putting forth the effort to try to do that. So
we got a breaking news. Shout out to my guy Jacob Pachuzzi, put it in the chat. According to Will Sammons on Twitter, the Brewers are acquiring starting pitcher Jordan Montgomery as part of their trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay, the Brewers finally make a move.
They dumped his contract.
It's a contract dump.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was just doing a live with a Brewers content creator. I know he is punching the air right now because he was so pissed off that they didn't do anything, and the move that they did was take back a horrible contract.
Yeah.
Traded Nestor Cortez right to the Padres too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Nestor's a Padre.
Last minute
Shut
trade.
up. Oh my God. Well, you know what? I was going to bring this up and ask Brian, since he's like a big National League guy. I feel like the National League was crazy this deadline.
Yeah.
They were so aggressive. For a long while there, it was virtually all National League. American League has been, for the most part, pretty quiet, minus the New York Yankees, the Blue Jays, and then really just a couple minor moves by these other franchises. It really hasn't been that. Did the Tigers do anything, y'all? Did I miss it?
They got Charlie Morton at the last minute.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Charlie Morton. Yeah.
And then obviously Houston got Carlos Correa back, which
Right,
okay.
and that's it.
This is the thing. They also, the Minnesota Twins are eating $80 million of that contract. Right.
Really?
So Carlos Correa is making, when you look at it right now, I'll pull up his contract so we can talk about it. But that's somebody that if the Yankees were able to get that deal from the Twins, that's somebody that I would have loved for the Yankees to have at third base. I love Ryan McMahon. I love what he's doing. But the offense and defense of Carlos Correa, that's something that I would have loved to see in a Yankees uniform.
The Astros also got Dylan Cease.
Yeah, that is true.
They did? I missed that one.
They got Dylan Cease.
At the last second. At the last second.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, but this is the thing about trade deadlines. The deadline technically is 6, but a lot of times deals will process. Like the league has to be notified, and then there'll be a processing period. Like that's why some deals get reported like after 6. This happens with the NBA all the time, where the deadline's at 3 or 4. I always forget, and then you'll see something 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, but it was already like the league was notified beforehand, so it still passes the deadline period. Just from a legal standpoint.
They already changed it for his contract, so this is what the Houston will be paying because before this was at like 33 million, 33 million, 33, 33. Houston is going to be paying 11 million for the rest of the season, 20.5 next year, 19.5 the following, 19 mil, and then these are vesting options that Houston's not going to pick up for 29, 30, 31, 32.
What went back in the Dylan Cease trade?
I'll look it up right now.
The Twins are awful. I would hate to be a Twins fan. I mean, that is a miserable.
Cease didn't get traded? Okay.
Wow.
Astros. Dylan Cease.
Well, the comments are saying that he didn't. So now
It's official.
who reported it?
No, Bob Nightingale just put it out. The Padres are keeping Dylan Cease. They refuse to include him in the deal to Houston.
Oh, wow.
This is according to Bob Nightingale. Just came out literally within the last. I'll share it to the screen.
Well, look at that.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard about this too. Julio Urias from the Orioles. He was apparently traded to, I think, the Astros, but then he didn't want to report. So he was trying to veto the trade.
Does he have enough clout to do that?
I don't know. He's not a 10 he refused.
The answer is no.
No.
He was crying. He was crying in the dugout for like hours. And he didn't want to go to the Astros. So he was trying to get the trade vetoed. If you don't report, apparently, then you can start the veto process if you refuse to report. And he refused to report to the Astros.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's so bad about Houston?
First of all,
that makes me like him, honestly.
First of all, you aren't Wilmer Flores, all right? There's only one baseball player that is allowed to cry at the trade deadline and not get traded, and that's Wilmer fucking Flores. Shout out to my guy, Miguel. Miguel in the chat, appreciate you with the $5 super chat. Cashman killed it this deadline. We have depth everywhere now, and we have Hill coming back. Now let's go win the division and make a World Series run.
We got Fernando Cruz coming back.
I agree 100% with what he just said. What you said, Jason?
We got Fernando Cruz coming back too, so let's go.
Brian, I want to ask you, what's the grade you giving David Stearns?
A for him, A for Cashman.
Yeah.
A's across the board. They addressed
across the board.
They did a good job. They didn't give up elite prospects. Both teams got better. And to Grace's point, because we just totally went left, but like in terms of National League teams being aggressive, I think this has to go back to, hey, the Dodgers look like they can be beaten. They look like they can be kind of vulnerable, which I said before the year. I had done a virtual panel with Pitcher List. Shout out to my guy, Nick Pollock. And we talked about, we were doing like just 10 hot takes before the baseball season. One of mine was the Dodgers aren't going to make it to the World Series because this is baseball. This is a weird ass sport. And like dynasties just don't happen really across sports anymore like they tend to do or have tended to do in the past. And with the Dodgers, you're also asking a lot from a health standpoint with all of those dudes, with a lot of their top players. And then the performance, like you have to be able to sustain that. And I think this year, teams are looking at this like, yo, over the course of a series, we can take the Dodgers. And I think that's how they're moving. The Mets know that they could. It's not to say that they'd be favored. The Padres have to feel good, given this season they're kind of neck and neck in the standings. They're like slightly behind the Dodgers right now. And then the NL Central's been a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be this season. I didn't think the Brewers would be this. The Cubs are, or at least should be, acting like a team that's like legitimate. So like there are some good teams across the board in the National League, and I think it just starts with like, hey, people think that the Dodgers are beatable, and that's how they should be acting. Like the NBA teams, they were doing this year with the Celtics. The Celtics just won a title. This year they were kind of like, and it's like, you know what? We could beat these dudes. And then of all teams, the Knicks ended up beating them, which people didn't expect because the Knicks kept getting their ass whooped the entire regular season against them. So I think that's what it boils down to with this situation in the National League.
I have a question to ask real quick. Grace or Jason, did the Yankee game resume? Because I've been on live streams. I have no idea what's going on with the Yankees right now.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did, and it's over. We won 4-7.
All right, cool. Thank you. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. We got 330 people in the building. Shout out to Restream for this amazing, dope chat overlay, so you guys can see you guys' chats on the screen as we're having this conversation, so we could see them as well. Shout out to my guy Brew Crew, who is in the chat. Brew Crew. He said, sorry, Heck, I'm absolutely distraught at my Brewers deadline. This is what I was talking about. You got to let me know, bro. How do you feel about Jordan Montgomery being added to the team? You got to let us know. Shout out to my man, Brew Crew. What happened?
No, I said Brewers played it safe. Grace,
Brew
wants to
Crew,
jump in.
I just want to say we have been there. Seriously, it is so heartbreaking to be waiting for news and refreshing, and you don't get any moves done, and you're just deflated. And honestly, we've been there. I'm sure the Mets have been there, Brian. I'm sure we've all been there. So I'm so sorry that happened to you today. You're a good guy, and it sucks. But the Brewers are still in a really good place to make a deep postseason run. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do for the rest of the year. That's part number one. Part number two is tell a friend and tell a friend. The Yankees are up 3.5 games back from the best record in the AL, baby.
All right.
Don't look
Guys, if you
now.
guys can hit that like button, like I said, we got 340 people in the building. Make sure you guys go over to Brian's channel. He's sitting at 6,630 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. Over here on Uptown Sports TV, we are sitting at 5,616 subscribers. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for finding us. Guys, share us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Brian, I'll kick it over to you, bro. Lead the convo wherever you want to go. I got some trades that I want to bring up so we could go over. But go ahead, bro.
I'll ask y'all this. Do y'all trust the Blue Jays? Like, are you worried about a potential, call it an ALCS matchup with them if it comes to it?
I'm worried more about the Astros now.
Yeah.
Please
I'm not
do
worried
tell.
about the Blue Jays.
Why, Jason? Why the Astros and why not the Blue Jays?
Correa just changed the dynamic of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stepping in. He's stepping in for Paredes, and I think he just changes a lot for them. But whether they got seats or not doesn't matter. Pitching and enough prospects to kind of take that step forward. And I think they were playing well without Correa. I think they're just going to play even better with Correa. So to me, they'll probably leapfrog. I can see it. I'm hoping to see a Yankees Astros ALCS.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want.
I wouldn't sleep on the Phillies either in terms of nationally dealing the World Series.
Oh,
And the
Phillies pissed me off, so I'm hoping that they don't get back to the World Series.
the one thing that and thank you so much for dropping the link in the chat. Shout out to Alex Campos, my lovely girlfriend, with all the links to the TikTok, Instagrams, and Twitch. Make sure you guys go and follow us on all social media platforms. When it comes to the Astros, this is, and you probably feel the same way, Brian, with the Phillies, but you guys did this to the Phillies in the postseason. The Yankees have to beat the Houston Astros in the postseason in order for this era of Yankee baseball to have any significant meaning. The Yankees, A, have to win a World Series, and B, have to expel our demons by beating the Astros in the ALCS. That's the only way this era, the Aaron Judge era of baseball, it's going to mean anything.
I love that take. 'Cause it's true. You have to exercise those demons at some point, It almost felt like that's why you lost last year. It's because you still got to get over. And now Carlos Correa is back, so the stage is reset again. Like, it's perfect. I hope that y'all play the Astros in the playoffs. Preferably in the ALCS, but even if it just somehow happens to be before that, then okay.
I'm just saying, Grace is giving both of us death stares because she lives down there in Texas. Grace, as the local Yankee fan in Texas, what's your thoughts on that take?
Oh, Astros are so annoying. So annoying. I just, if I have to hear, Jose Altuve wasn't a cheater. He didn't do what everybody else on the whole team was doing. He's the one guy that didn't do LCS was a unique pain that I had to endure. So, yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of revenge. I'm not above it.
Oh man. No, I think the Astros, I think every team that needed to make additions, I would say the loser at the trade deadline for me is the Chicago Cubs. At first, in the National League, it's the Chicago Cubs because as a team that competing for their division, they're second in the National League when it comes to their record behind the Milwaukee Brewers. They desperately needed a third baseman. They needed to add to that bullpen, and they did it. I know Brew Crew is mad about the Brewers as well, but at least the Brewers are still in first place. So I would have to say the losers in the National League are the Cubs, and the winners in the American League, it's not the Yankees, it's not the Houston Astros, it's the Seattle Mariners. Because they needed to add offense to that great pitching and that great defense. They added a third baseman in Eugenio Suarez, and they added our guy Josh Naylor, right? I know a lot of Yankee fans have a love-hate relationship with him. I love Josh Naylor because of his energy. I wish he was on the Yankees. But they added offense to a lineup that desperately needed. And with Aaron Judge now being on the IL, missing some time, I would have to say Kyle Raleigh is the favorite to win the MVP in the American League. The big thumper.
I do think the Astros getting Correa is going to make it much harder for the Mariners to compete. The Mariners are going to have a tough task getting past the Astros in the National League West.
And I think that's why the Astros went out there and got Carlos Correa because they saw the additions that the Seattle Mariners made. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Donnie Clark is in the building. Eric Katz, my guy Hayden Bear is in the building. We got 350 locked in watching us. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. Brian, when it comes to the National League as a Met fan, are you scared of the Phillies? Now, even though they added Duran, I would still choose the Mets bullpen over the Phillies because the Phillies, they just have Duran. You got Diaz, you got Taylor, you got Presley.
As a Met fan, you're only scared of the Mets. I gotta be honest. We can beat the Phillies, can beat the Dodgers. We just tend to beat ourselves. You know what I mean?
That's a solid take. I love that, bro.
Look, as a Puerto Rican, I love Edwin Diaz. Absolutely, love, right? But there are still times where if he comes out and it's immediately a 3-1 count and he's on the verge of walking the first batter, you're like, oh shit, all right. It's going to be one of those. Okay, cool. Then we have to, adjust how we sit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get all superstitious. But that's really what it is. It's like, I think the Mets are capable of beating anybody. But occasionally they just do stupid shit.
I got a tweet here from good friend Kirshner. Love seeing him at the stadium. Love his work. But Kirshner says when it comes to the Yankees, Brian Cashman said the Yankees were not able to match up on the starting pitching market, say they knocked on many doors. And you heard the rumors with the Yankees. They were linked to Sandy Alcantara. They were linked to Joe Ryan. They were linked to a lot of starting pitchers that are out there. And Brian Cashman, I know Yankee fans 50-50 with him, or maybe 30-70. I don't know what it is. But when it comes to Brian Cashman, everybody was saying John Heyman, Jeff Passan, that the Yankees are going to go all in, right? That's what we heard over the past week, and Yankee fans were waiting for Brian Cashman to go in. He addressed our need at third baseman by getting us a Gold Glover who's hitting .350 ever since coming over to the Yankees. He addressed the bullpen. He added to the bench. I'm happy as a Yankee fan. He got an A for me, just like I know Met fans are happy with David Stearns.
What do you think the cost would have been for Sandy? Like how steep would it have gotten?
Spencer. It would have been Spencer. It would have been Spencer Jones. That's why the Yankees countered with Anthony Bender.
Yeah.
Bender, I mean.
Probably would have been Spencer plus. At least that's what I would ask for if I'm.
No, it would have been Spencer plus, but Spencer Jones would have been the top, this highlight of the package. What about you, Jake?
I wouldn't have done Spencer for him.
I don't think so either, by the way.
I got to give the Yankees and the Mets credit because I think they saw how expensive the prices were for starting pitching. And the fact is, nobody got the big arm. Nobody did. So, Dodgers didn't get him.
Starting pitcher, you're right.
Yeah. The Red Sox got Dustin May. They didn't get Joe Ryan. So, and they pivoted to...
Great point.
Three good arms to the pen, and Cedric Mullins. That's a hell of a deadline for the Mets. They got better. The Yankees added I didn't think they were going to add Caballero. That one shocked the hell out of me. They added him from the Rays, and then they added Duvall. I didn't think they were going to add Duvall either, but let's go. So the Mets and the Yankees pivoted brilliantly from the asking price from starting pitching.
I want to piggyback on this, Jason, and I wanted to bring this up. I think that the Dodgers successfully navigating the postseason last year with bullpen games opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
The emphasis this trade deadline, although multiple teams mentioned starting pitching, the emphasis was clearly on relief arms. And like I said, I think that the Dodgers successfully navigating the postseason last year with multiple bullpen games really changed the game. Really, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because it looks like, and Jason made a great point also as it relates to the starting pitching. Like the starting pitching market was just a lot more steep, I guess, than it was for relievers, because relievers felt gettable. And generally speaking, you didn't really need to part with elite prospects unless, say for like the Miller trade that we talked about earlier. But for starters, I mean, that's the thing. If you look around the league, a lot of teams need starting pitching, but there's only but so many starters to go around. So that's why they're at a premium. And I think if you're not going to get starting pitching, then just get as many good, reliable bullpen arms and just pray that your starter that night can go at least 5 or 6 innings. And then you have guys that can take you to 7 to 8 and 9, which is what I felt like the Mets did, for example. Like you have guys that can get to Diaz now. And before you kind of did, but it was very shaky, as you know, and especially thin. Thin was the real thing. And even coming into the season, I felt like, well, they don't really have enough in the bullpen. But at the trade deadline, and then you see starting with the Soto deal, not the Juan Soto deal, obviously, but the Soto deal for Gregory Soto not that long ago. And then over the last couple of days, you ramp it up even more, then you end up with a center fielder. Like, yeah, I just think starting pitching just costs a lot right now. And for good reason. Like if I'm trading a good starter to a team that's trying to compete for a championship, yeah, I want one of your best prospects. At least I might want 2 of your best prospects. If I'm giving you like a legit good starter, like Joe Ryan, like we talked about, for example. Like, yeah, I want like from a Yankees perspective, I'm going to want Spencer Jones plus. Same thing with Sandy Alcantara. Like I'm going to want Spencer Jones plus. I might even ask for more than just that, but yeah, I think that's what it is.
Guys, on YouTube, we got over 55 people in the building rocking with us. If you guys can't hit that like button, we're sitting on 37 likes. Let's try to run it up to as close as we can to 50. 370 watching us collectively across all platforms. Eric Katz put it in the chat. I love this right here. Pitching is at a premium, and Brian Cashman, he made a nice pivot. 100%. Dee's channel said, I'm glad we didn't give up Jones and Lombard. That was my biggest worry. But damn, hate to see Rock Riggio go. That's somebody that I saw earlier the week on Tuesday. I understand you got to give stuff up in order to get stuff. When the trade was announced and it was Rock Riggio, I was like, I cringed for a little bit. I love this kid's energy, but at the same time, I understand it's just a part of the industry.
Can I ask y'all this? I want to ask this to the chat as well.
Go ahead.
Now that you bring this up, were there any prospects that you just mentioned Riggio, but were there any prospects that you felt like you didn't want the Yankees to give up because they weren't elite prospects, but there still could be a couple of guys who end up being like solid professional baseball players. Maybe there's an all-star there sneakily at some point. Like, is there anyone that you feel like, oh, this could come back to bite you?
I'll say it real quick. The catcher that we gave up, Flores, I like his makeup, but I'm not going to cry that we gave him up, right? So outside of him, obviously George Lombard Jr. is an untouchable. I know Jason said he wouldn't have traded him, but I would have traded Spencer Jones for Sandy and for Bender from Miami. If that was the return, a starting pitcher and a right-handed reliever with controllable years for the next 3 years, I would have done it. Because a hypothetical starting rotation next year of Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Sandy Alcantara, and Luis Hill is dangerous, and it is beautiful to think about.
For me, I didn't have any prospects that were untouchable necessarily, but some would have required a bigger return than others. For me personally, I'm known around these parts as the opposite of a prospect hugger. I'm like, until they've proven it to me at the major league level, they are just a lottery ticket to me. Jason Dominguez is probably the closest to me, but I don't consider him a prospect anymore. He's been up. He's proven himself for a while. So he's part of the major league squad. That he doesn't count. If you don't count him, there wasn't anybody, in my opinion, that I wouldn't have moved for the right player. But, I mean, it would have taken a lot for me to be comfortable moving George Lombard Jr., but, like, if the Guardians were, like, before the betting scandal, if the Guardians were like, hey, we'll give you J-Ram and Stephen Kwan and Emmanuel Clase, I would have been like, here's George Lombard Jr.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it would have to be the right package.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm really, really happy with how we bolstered our team and still held on to a lot of promising young players. So I hope that we have enough for the postseason run, and because I am desperate to get Giancarlo Stanton a World Series ring.
Oh, same, Grace, same.
If he gets a World Series ring and shows out in the postseason, to me, he's a Hall of Fame lock. But he's got to get that extra. He's like, to me, he's missing just a little something to push him over the top. And I feel like if he stunts out like he does in the postseason in the World Series and the Yankees win, he will secure his place as a future Hall of Famer. And I want that for him.
We should catch up on comments, because we have a bunch.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I want to be able to start highlighting some of the comments that are in the building. I have some pinned comments from earlier. TC Stills giving Brian Cashman an A+. Jonathan, Devin Williams will remain the Yankees closer even after all of the new acquisitions. And this is per Brian Hoke. All right, let's see how that shakes out for the rest of the season.
Grace ain't buying that shit.
Delulu, my man Delulu, Yankee fan. Rafael Flores is good, but I'll be shocked to hear any of those guys named in the next 7 to 10 years. Yeah, prospects, like Grace said, they're lottery tickets at the end of the day, right? You just hope that you have the Willy Wonka ticket.
Yeah, and once you get to like 24, you know, I'm like, all right, like Spencer Jones, for example. He's someone in here said I would only trade Spencer Jones for Paul Skeens. He's older than Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm hanging on to Spencer Jones, like I kind of need to see something. So that if it were me, like that call up, I need to see something before the end of the year. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's gonna like, oh, you're going to try to get him on the postseason roster at all costs, but like see something in the majors before he turns 25.
Yeah.
He's been in your system for a while at this point.
Yeah, shout out to Hated in the chat who points out, Hector, did you notice that the Yankees, they made a trade every day of the trade deadline week? That's fire. That's good. I ain't know that. I had no idea about that. So that's a Snapple fact.
We had a Met fan comment too, by the way.
Where is it?
Spencer Jones is already 25.
Mike Caliendo. Say that again, Grace?
Spencer Jones is already 25. Oh, no, he's not. 24. You're right. You're right.
No, he's going to be, though. But
24,
he's going to be.
24.
That's the thing.
My man, Mikey Caliendo. Brian, I got to get you hooked up with my man, Roro. Him and JV, they run a dope podcast, Diamond Discussions on Spotify. It's an audio podcast for you guys that are out there. Hold on. I think you're a mod, Roro. If not, I'll make you a mod right now so you could drop the link to the podcast in the chat. But he says, as a Met fan, Joe Ryan was my dream trade. I don't know how heavy of a push they made, but would love to find out. Brian, I want to toss it to you. What's your thoughts on that? Because you still got Jeff McNeil, still got Vientos, still got a lot of your guys still on the roster that you guys didn't trade.
Did not want to trade Vientos, by the way. Absolutely did not want to trade Vientos. Continue.
No, go ahead. I was just saying, what's your thoughts on Mikey Caliendo's comment?
Yeah, I feel like the ask for Joe Ryan would have been steep. Like, you're talking about two of your top 5-7 prospects. It's a guess. But again, if starting pitching is at a premium, like that would track with what we've seen, some of the reporting going around about who's asking for what and what starting pitchers are going for. There's a reason why Joe Ryan didn't get dealt and Santiago Alcantara didn't get dealt. Like if you look at all these different deals. So yeah, I think Joe Ryan would have been cool, or really any starting pitcher who you can trust in a playoff series, like who can be at least a 3 or a 4, at least in a playoff series. If you get an ace, I mean, God. But again, like the Mets have still a really good farm system after all of this. I would have thought across maybe multiple deals that you're talking about parting with top 6, 7 prospects, but they didn't need to. And part of it was probably because of the volume of prospects that they gave up. It was 11 for 4 guys, but still, Joe Ryan would be cool, but I get not wanting to trade, your elite prospects. If that's even what it took. I'm curious to see, to Mike's point, like what the cost would have been. So, and we're gonna get the Now They Tell Us reporting on like all these different things. Like the Yankees, called about, because we just got the report now about the Yankees talking to teams about pitching, and we're gonna at some point get stories about like this is what it would have taken. Same thing with the Mets. Same thing around Major League Baseball, I think.
Yeah, there was reports that Joe Ryan was traded to the Red Sox by John Morosi, but that was a fumble.
Red Sox ain't going to take on.
Yeah,
Red Sox being aggressive like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you happy about Mullins?
Yes, I am. Because center field going into the year with like Siri and Taylor, and it was just like I know they're gonna have to upgrade at some point. And Mullins feels like just this is a buy low opportunity. Like, can you get back to where you were? What was it, 2 seasons ago? Can you get back to where you were at that point? He's not going to bat super high in the order, which is fine because they have hitting. They just need some certain guys to hit better. But no, and Mullins will also, like, you need a good center fielder in Citi Field. Like, that's a big ass ballpark. You have to cover a lot of ground. I don't want to see Jeff McNeil playing center. He's too old for that shit at this point. Like, yeah, Mullins would be great. And I also love baseball players who are like around my height because I'm like 5'8".
Hey, shout out to my guy Eric Wallace in the building who says, "Hey, sir, I just subbed from Hector's channel. I appreciate you, EY. I appreciate you subbing to my man Brian Fonseca. Donnie Clark in the building. Shout out to Donnie
Thank
Clark,
you, Eric.
A1
Appreciate
since day one." Says, but then whatever. Wait, he says, Ryan and Jax maybe have the conversation about Jones. Oh, I'm kind of lost of what you're saying. But back to Cedric Mullins, real quick, Brian.
Also, I just want to
Go ahead.
just because Eric subscribed. Hope you like boxing and basketball because there's plenty of that on my channel as well. But anyway, and more stuff to come. You were mentioning about Mullins.
Cedric Mullins, right? I know you said earlier, Subway Series is back on, and that's the one player I hate that you guys got because he is a Yankee killer.
Oh,
Cedric Mullins has been a thorn in my rear end, and Grace as well, with the Baltimore Orioles. The big hits, the clutch hits, big time stolen bases. Cedric Mullins is a Yankee killer. So, knock on wood, if we're able to have that conversation in October for a Subway Series, that's the one guy I hope gets food poisoning.
Look, he'll have. Baltimore, where he was at, great food city. New York is different though, so he could get food poisoning out here just because there's a lot of different shit that if you're not used to, you gotta be able to try a lot of different shit when you live out here. You know this.
I think his bat has kind of been lagging this year, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
but
it has.
It has.
Good outfielder.
The past 3 years.
He's got, like Brian said, he's got a high upside, and so who knows what could happen. But yeah, Hector had mentioned it. We don't love him. Because, for good reason. But I'm glad he's not on the Orioles. Somebody tweeted out, and I retweeted it on my page. But it's like, we have 13 of our last games against the Orioles and the White Sox or something like that. And, do they even have a team left? We're going to be friggin' coasting into postseason. The Yankees' last 13 games or something like that, it's going to be cake. So,
Yeah.
That's good for us.
Yeah, and then Mullins is also the thing with him is he's also playing for a new contract because at the end of the year, he's going to be a free agent. So this effectively is a rental, but there's a world where if he plays well enough, like you don't know, maybe you get a 2-year, 3-year commitment for a team friendly quote unquote number. He also steals bases, which I love. I love stolen bases. I love when players are multidimensional in that way, where they have some power and they can steal bases. So I like that. He just has a lot of things that I like. So we'll see. I think maybe this is a classic change of scenery being good, and hopefully he's closer to what he was in like 2021, maybe 2022. 2021's asking for a lot as opposed to this year.
The Orioles have been out of it. Let's just call a spade since like the first month of the season.
Yeah.
And
they fired their GM. They fired their manager like 2 or 3 weeks into the season.
Right. And they've just really been out of it ever since then. So we've seen in the past what happens with a player who moves from a non-contender to a contender, especially like you said, Brian, in a walk year. So, we'll see what happens.
I would say this. Mikey Caliendo put in the chat, I think it's talking about Cedric Mullins. Agree about the issues in center field. I wasn't crazy about them giving up a ton to get him, which they didn't. I hope he turns his bat around, hitting .309 in July and a career .429 hitter at Citi Field. Cedric Mullins, .429 hitter at Citi Field. Mikey, let me know who you're talking about. I'm kind of lost.
That's true. I did not know.
Turns out he's only played 2 games there, but they were great.
Aria Rowe, shout out to Aria in the building. AR says, do you think Jose Caballero would start playing shortstop for the Yankees? No, I think his role will be a backup utility guy, as a guy who can play third base, he can play shortstop, he can play second. He has 30 plus stolen bases on the season, so he will be a late inning pinch runner for like Giancarlo Stanton or for any of the guys if they get on base, Ryan McMahon, because if you get Ryan McMahon on base, he could be a pinch runner. He could play third base in substitution of Ryan McMahon. It gives Aaron Boone more options and more players available to him as his disposal. And yes, he was talking about Cedric Mullins, .429 career hitter at Citi Field. That's solid. That's David Stearns doing work.
And
was it only 2 games? Was it only 2 games, Grace?
I don't know if it was only 2 games.
I don't know. I'm just being.
Because I'm like 429. Isn't that about 3 divided by 7? Like,
no, that's a solid sample size. If it's 429, it's a solid sample size just because of like the 2.9 in there.
I was joking, y'all. But also on the joking train, I want to say Anthony Volpe did not make an error today.
Oh my God! Another one.
Celebrate!
You gotta take your wins.
I was out. So the game was on at this bar restaurant near me, and it was the game. I remember if it was Tuesday. When did he hit a home run and an error? Like within like minutes of each other. Whenever that was.
Yesterday.
You remember this well. That's
it
what
was
it
yesterday,
was.
the day before, 2 days before that, last week, during my lunch break.
Whenever the most recent instance was, I was watching it, and I remember people like around me were just like more pissed off about the error than they were excited about the home run, because it was like almost like a half-ass cheer when he hit the home run, because it was like he's probably gonna fuck it up at some point, and then the error happened.
Well, and it's just like they won't sit him. They won't sit him because he keeps hitting these home runs. Brian, in the last 11 games, Volpe has hit 6 home runs and committed 5 errors. I heard somebody say he's like having a Jameis Winston year where he throws 30 touchdowns and 36.
I was gonna say that's like when Caitlin Clark has 8 assists and 7 turnovers.
Oh God!
Exactly.
And plays horrible defense.
Exactly.
And plays horrible defense.
Like, oh God.
I mean, she'll give you a ton of offense, but I mean, she's injured right now, so she ain't giving you much.
Mikey Caliendo says it's not 2 at bats; it's 22 plate appearances at Citi Field.
By the way,
small sample size.
22. Look, there's still more. I was right. 3 divided by 7, 429. Dead on.
There you go.
22 plate appearances. So that has to be that should be like 9-ish hits, something along those lines.
So, yeah.
Decent sample size. I mean, look, he'll have more than 22 plate appearances over like his next like 5-6 games at Citi Field. So we'll see.
Yeah. So he said, I'd rather 429 than 129. I can understand that. It's the same thing with Peraza. Again, I wish him all the luck in the world. He ain't work out here with the Yankees. And a lot of Yankee fans were screaming from the mountain to give Anthony Volpe some days off, bench Anthony Volpe. It's kind of hard to justify benching Anthony Volpe for a guy who's committing errors at third base and hitting below 150 in Peraza. It's kind of hard to justify that. When you have Caballero, now you can have Anthony Volpe probably have a mental rest, take a little break. I've pointed out, Grace, you pointed out as well, maybe he's dealing with an injury, that shoulder, that video, that dive that happened in May. I don't know, but at least we have options now with Caballero. And having a guy like Caballero who's so versatile is something we have been missing since Oswaldo got injured.
I want to say I agree with Mike. Jameis Winston is a little sweetie poo, and I love him. I wasn't saying anything bad. I'm just clowning y'all. I'm just wild today with this trade deadline. But yeah, I mean, Peraza didn't work out. It sucks. His story was a tough one. He had some chances. Unfortunately, the timing just never worked out for him. Caballero basically replaces him on the roster, pinch runner, a little bit of utility, a little bit of versatility in the infield.
Yeah.
Allow Volpe a day off. If everybody else gets days off, why shouldn't Anthony Volpe get a day off? I mean, right. I think it would help him so much, but he keeps hitting these home runs, which is frustrating because you see him committing these horrible errors over and over and over, and then you see him hitting home runs, and you don't know what to do with this guy. Like, what do you? I'm like a mom yelling at her kid, like, what am I going to do with you? That was a little New York accent coming out. Did y'all hear that?
Look at that, Grace. Look at that.
all the Yankee Morning Brew shows are rubbing off.
That's what it is. Yeah, she's been around me for more than a year and a half. So that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to say to Mike's point, 129, he said he'd rather see 429 than 129. 129 coincidentally is what Austin Wells has been hitting over the last 30 games. But I digress.
Yeah,
should I drop Austin Wells for my fantasy team, Grace?
I would say drop Austin Wells from your fantasy team. I have
fantasy catchers are not good. Okay, that's why I have Wells and I have Alvarez who got sent down at some point, and I had I'm forgetting who else, but somebody else I had to drop.
This is from Jose Caballero because he literally just had to walk across locker rooms and walk across the infield. But this was his thoughts about being traded to the Yankees.
And what did you think when you heard it was the Yankees? A lot of feelings, because like I said before, I'm really grateful for what they did to me, but at the same time, I grew up a Yankee fan, so I was, happy and sad at the same time.
Who were your fan? Who was your favorite player?
Jeter.
He grew up a Yankee fan.
Hey, I read that he's Panamanian. Is that true? Because I think Mariano's Panamanian.
Yeah, Mariano's from Panama.
And still he gave the love to Derek Jeter over Mariano. Okay, well, that's a good one. That's a way to instantly ingratiate yourself with the Yankees fan base.
Yep.
Praise Derek Jeter. Say you were a Yankees fan growing up. Like, you're in.
Yeah, Jose is Panamanian. I was trying to figure that out too because I was listening. I was also confused because Young M.A. playing in the background.
Oh yeah, that's the playlist at Yankee Stadium. It'd be slapping, bro. I joke around with Jazz Chisholm, and I'm like, it's your Spotify playlist, that song, right? And he laughs like, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. If it's Jazz, then that makes sense. I don't know
if it's Jazz. We was just joking or whatever. But I asked him, they be having Pop Smoke, they be having Young M.A. Yeah, the Yankees.
You think Aaron Judge listens to Young M.A.?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like listening to the Aaron Judge's walk-up song is Pop Smoke.
That is true. Although I don't necessarily. Which Pop Smoke song is it again?
Pop Smoke. It's the main one.
Dior.
Yeah.
Do you not know the name?
I know that.
I know they all sound recipes.
Yeah,
all
I know
Pop
the
Smoke
hook.
songs sound the same.
I know the
R.I.P.,
hook. Well, no, it's Christian Dior. Dior. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the main one. Okay, yeah.
All I know
Caballero
is it says, I'm the king of New York.
There you go. I'm the king of New York.
If you listen to Pop Smoke's first album, or I guess his first big album, he had it's 8 or 9 songs or something along those lines, and they all sound like that. They're literally all same tempo. This was the problem with drill when it started before it found its footing. It was just the same shit over and over. But R.I.P. Pop Smoke, because I thought he was gonna be really, really good. Anyway, back to baseball shit. By the way, I thought this was a good trade at the buzzer.
No, I thought this was a phenomenal trade. I'm waiting to see who the Yankees gave up for Camilo Duvall. But I thought that was a phenomenal trade by the Yankees. When you look at it, Grace, I called it earlier. What were the names I'm saying? David Bednar, Camilo Duvall, and hopefully Sandy Alcon. Those are the names that I was saying earlier, right?
And Hayes before they got McMahon, which I thought was smart getting McMahon anyway.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't want McMahon is because his road splits away from Coors Field was a lot worse hitter than at Coors Field. But at the same time, you factor in he's playing for Colorado, right? Like literally yesterday, I heard him telling Paul Goldsmith, because it was the WWE folks. They were out there. They had Logan Paul, whatever. Then you had
Zelina Vega, Damian
Priest, and you heard I heard Ryan McMahon telling Paul Goldsmith. He was like, we have the WWE people here today. Dave Franco on Monday. This is not happening in Colorado.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic is the other name he mentioned. Is like Luka on Monday. This is not happening in Colorado.
Yeah. Colorado, they don't even get Jokic. I don't even think Jokic has been to Coors Field?
No.
No, he doesn't have time. He's with his horses and he doesn't give a fuck. Okay. True. But y'all, I heard something I have to tell you. Nosebleed told me this, so shout out to Nosebleed.
Shout out to Theo Nosebleed.
If he's in here, he told me that apparently, reportedly, DJ LeMahieu gave the Yankees the recommendation for Ryan McMahon. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Brian, you don't know this, but I cried on air on the show when they DFA'd DJ LeMahieu.
Really?
Why? I cried on the show twice this year. Once when DJ LeMahieu got DFA'd, and once when I was talking about Oswaldo Cabrera's injury.
We be crying, Brian. All right, we be crying on Uptown Sports TV. All right, it's okay to cry.
No, it is. Crying is healthy. A lot of people.
Don't you think that's sweet?
Yeah, I just couldn't tell you the last time I cried over a sporting event. I'm trying to remember. Probably something tragic happened that made me cry, but I don't.
Jose Fernandez. When Jose Fernandez passed, I cried when Jose Fernandez passed. To acquire Duvall, the Yankees dealt away Jesus Rodriguez, Parks Harbor, Tristan Verling, and one other player. I want to see where they rank on the Yankees top 100.
4.
I'm going to say I cried when Cole got injured, but I didn't do it on air. I did it in the privacy of my own home.
I haven't cried on air yet.
But I just think that DJ giving his recommendations just goes to show you what a team player DJ has been and always will be. Like, even after being DFA'd, he wants the best for the New York Yankees. He wants to win and he wants to help. And it's just, it really tugs on your heartstrings to hear that. So I wanted to tell everybody that. Nosebleed passed that along to me, and I thought that was really interesting and nice.
I can give you a time I almost cried on air. Now, almost teared on air. Not almost cried. Like, I was like, it hit me a little bit. It was when the Puerto Rican national team qualified for the Olympics last year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
And then I did a stream immediately after, and I was like feeling some shit, because I care about that shit like a lot, a lot. Yeah. The AmeriCup I'll be covering on my channel is going to be later in August, which is going to be a lot of fun. For people who don't know, that's basically North America, South America, Central American teams competing in a tournament. All the FIBA Continental Cups are going to be in August. But yeah, that shit hit me, but I didn't cry on air necessarily. Last time I probably cried was I have no fucking idea. I'm still trying to remember.
Guys, if you guys can, like I said, make sure you guys follow Bryan's channel. The link is in the description right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to click on the link and drop it in the chat so you guys can check out Bryan's channel. Make sure you guys sub to him. Jesus Rodriguez ranks 23rd in the Yankees farm system, top 30. Tristan Verling ranks in as their 17th prospect, and the other two aren't even top 30 prospects. So the Yankees didn't give up any top 100 prospects for Camilo Doval, an all-star closer in the National League with years of control. Brian Cashman cooked. He cooked this trade deadline. He added 7 guys, 2 all-stars to closers from the National League without touching any of his top 5 prospects or top 100 prospects.
Question for Grace, because you'll give a good answer to this. Do you want him to close?
Bednar?
No. Do you want Doval to close?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't even thought about that. I thought Bednar might close.
I mean, it sounds like it's still going to be Williams, but remember a couple years ago, Doval was he was an all-star, I want to say, 2023. And his ERA is close to where it was then, relatively close. It's like 309 right now for the year. I think in terms of form, he also has 15 saves this year. In terms of form, man, if he's tearing it up,
really,
I'm putting him in close. I might do that. I'd entertain the idea. I don't know. Is that a hot take, Hector? Am I bugging?
No.
No, I'm not that familiar with Doval. I mean,
I love Doval. That's the guy. That outside of Bednar, I'm sorry. That's the guy that I wanted the Yankees to get the most. That's why I wanted. When the talks was talking about Matt Chapman, when that came up, and I called you, Grace, this is so fucking stupid that this conversation is even happening. I literally said that. I was like, for Matt Chapman, because of the money that's connected to him. I was like, if the Yankees trade for Matt Chapman, I want Camilo Doval back. And they got him.
Yeah. I've seen his stats. But I don't remember watching him, physically watching him pitch. I don't know his style. I only know his numbers. But I mean, hey, I really don't care as long as we win the game. I think Williams, for the short amount of time that we had him in the setup role this season, he shined. And he ended up having to slide back into the closer role once Luke Weaver got injured. And he's been okay. For my experience with Devin Williams in the Bronx, he was better as a setup guy than a closer. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't want Devin Williams closing. I really don't care as long as we win the game. But it's just, I can only go off what I've seen with my own eyes,
If the Yankees are going to go with Devin Williams to close for the rest of the season as their closer, and you got Bednar in the 9th, Doval in the 7th, you're moving. No, I said
Bednar. Did you say Bednar in the 8th?
Yeah, Bednar in the 8th.
Yeah.
Doval in the 7th, right? You're moving Luke Weaver back to the 6th inning. You're getting Jake Bird for the 5th or 6th inning. And you still have Fernando Cruz.
It's pretty good. But listen, all that, and if Devin Williams is still shaky, because I don't know if you're. I want to know what the chat thinks, but do y'all think Devin Williams? Because you set it up now. It's basically you're giving the quarterback the receivers. You're setting it up for where Devin Williams can have a decent lead. You would think when he comes into the game. But if he's shaky, I don't think he could end the season as the closer, considering what you just traded for. You got 2 guys with good closing experience who are having good seasons right now.
I would say yes, but when it comes to Devin Williams, this is something that Grace and I have gone back and forth on. Sometimes Devin Williams he locks in, sometimes he doesn't. But if you remove the first month of the season, which he struggled tremendously, I'm not trying to give him a pass. You remove the first month of the season, he only has 1 blown save. For the season, he has 2 blown saves.
Mm-hmm.
The second blown save came yesterday. You remove the first month of the season, he only has 1 blown save, and his ERA is at 3. I still think
3
that
is too high for a closer, in my opinion.
for your first year in New York with Luke Weaver struggling, I think it's okay-ish.
It's okay-ish, But if we have a better option, then let's use the better option. I mean, I think you agree with that, Hector.
Yeah.
But I want to address what Double A put in the chat. Double A called me out. He said, Grace.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but okay.
I'm not afraid.
It's friendly
Grace,
smoke.
why is it either or when it comes to Jason and Jones? You hate on Jones even though he's a Yankee and success and a future contributing player for us. And I know you love Jason. He's underachieved. Okay, yeah, they pulled up. First of all, Jason has not underachieved. If you look at rookies across the board, he's not underachieved.
Yeah,
if you are comparing him to, like an all-star level, whatever you think is going to happen in a rookie year of someone's career, then okay. But if you're looking at rookie years across the league, he has not underachieved. In fact, you could argue he's overachieved. He should be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Unfortunately, he's not getting everyday reps. He's improved in the outfield. He's improved at the plate. He's improved the team as a whole, obviously. But that aside, I want to say I don't hate Spencer Jones. I hate not listening on moving prospects. That goes for anyone, not just Spencer Jones, any of the prospects. I want to make the team better now because I want Giancarlo to have a World Series ring. And we're running out of time, okay? So for me, I'm willing to listen on anyone. And what I resent is Yankees fans attaching to a player who hasn't even had a single major league at bat and saying that he's off limits completely, thereby sacrificing perhaps the current team for a hypothetical future. That is just my stance on prospects in general. I don't hate Spencer Jones. And that's what I want to say.
And he's 24, to add to your point. I think that's part of it too.
I mean, if you want to go there, we can talk about Joey Gallo. We can talk about all that stuff, but that's not the point.
It's not that, but I'm saying like
he's older than Dominguez.
Yeah, he's 24 and you haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Right.
Seen him. Dominguez has a walk-off home run on the season in his rookie year. Sorry, Grace, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when Spencer Jones comes up, I will be cheering for him. You can mark that down. I want like I said this earlier today, I love Jason Dominguez. I love the Yankees more. I want to win.
Spencer Jones will be up, right? Because what I was told Monday and Wednesday, what I was told was that the Yankees, they didn't want to bring him up when Judge got injured for the simple fact that they didn't want to decrease his value, right? Hypothetically, if they would have brought him up and he got exposed by Major League pitching, just like Jack Caglione with the Kansas City Royals, if that would have happened, his trade value would have decreased. So the Yankees, they took him out of game, had him sit. They didn't even let the kid play. They did the same thing the Athletics did with Mason Miller. Mason Miller, last time he pitched was on Saturday. Then the trade rumors started going. He ain't pitched since Saturday. So that's what the Yankees did with Spencer Jones after he had like 3 home runs and everybody was calling for him to be up. Now that the trade deadline has come and gone, Spencer Jones is still on the team. I would expect Spencer Jones to be with the squad probably in the middle of August.
Yeah.
If not sooner.
Yeah. I think you got to see him now. And I think it was smart to not play him yet if you're just in case, because sometimes the mystery just has trade value. Like across sports, this is a thing where sometimes somebody who doesn't play, but you keep hearing about their progress and, all these different things, like, yeah, they'll have more value. Like this happens in the NBA all the time. A first round pick is usually more valuable than the player who was actually made with the first round pick or selected with the first round pick because of the idea of what this person or player pick can be, and I think with Spencer Jones, like now that he survived this trade deadline and the fact that he's 24, he'll be 25 in May. So like early next season too. And obviously like you just don't want to wait till spring training shortly before his, 25th birthday where it's like, all right, now we can set you up to debut in the majors. It's like, no, start the process now. And if he's good, great. And if not, the next year he'll have more time. You start him off in AAA and bring him up when he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with the way that the Yankees approached the trade deadline. Spencer Jones was somebody that they had to get blown out of the water. The reports around Paul Skeens, I don't know if there was any truth to it, but that's a player that I'm trading Spencer Jones today, tomorrow, and 5 years down the line for a guy like Paul Skeens. Same thing with Jose Ramirez. That's a guy that I said that I'll trade Spencer Jones for Jose Ramirez as well. Obviously, the Yankees, they value Spencer Jones at a certain way, and us Yankee fans don't. Grace, you brought up the rankings of the top 100 prospects, and Spencer Jones, he was a top 100 prospect, got kicked off the list, and he made it back on the list as a top 100 prospect right now. Baseball America, the year that he got drafted, that was the year that you was telling we need to trade him for Mason Miller. You kept screaming, trading him for Mason Miller. That spring trading, Baseball America came out with an article and predicted at the end of the year, Spencer Jones would be the number one prospect in all of Major League Baseball. He got injured. That never happened. This year, you see on the field, look at the stats, look at the numbers. You see what Baseball America thought about him and his ranking and his potential. And that's what the Yankees, they held on to him. And hopefully the Yankees hit with him.
Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez are two totally different players. I don't, to Double A's point, love Double A, but to Tiff's point, I don't know why the fan base is pitting them against each other.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
They're totally different.
I want to kick it back over to Brian so we could like bring back the Mets into the conversation. This has been heavily dominated Yankee talk, but going back to the Mets.
Wait. Go to Tyler's comment first. Would you trade your left foot for Paul Skeens?
It's a bit ableist, but no. I
I'm done.
No, I wouldn't trade my left foot for Paul.
I'm glad Tyler said left foot and not left something else, because a lot of dudes would say left something else. I don't know why I'm censoring it. Like,
Paul
I curse on this
Skeens
show.
is so good, y'all.
I feel bad for Pirates fans. It's like, bro, you can't even enjoy that experience for a long period of time before he's in trade rumors. Like, your own. Listen, man, a lot of baseball owners got to sell their team. Like, a lot of these small market or big market acting like small market or medium-sized markets. Like, come on, man. Like, we talked about the Cubs earlier. At least they went and got Willie Castro, who I really liked. So they weren't like overly aggressive, but they did that today.
Yeah, at the last minute too. It literally happened like at 5:59. It was announced that the Cubs got Willie Castro.
Yeah, and the Pirates, like, they have like an awesome stadium too, cool uniforms. Like, why can't they have a better team? Pittsburgh's cool. I've been to Pittsburgh a few times for work, but it's cool. You know?
Yeah. George Lombard Jr. was talking about PNC Park, and that's why he wore Clemente's number during the Futures game. During the Futures game, that's why he wore Clemente's number. My man D-Rod said, Grace just won a Taco Bell taco. Holla at D-Rod. I appreciate you in the chat. Folks, we got 360 in the building. Double tap that screen if you're on TikTok, which you're not because we're not on TikTok, but hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Brian, going back to you with the Mets now. See, the schedule is what it is. You got your guys. You guys are ready to go to war. You confident now?
Yeah, because before I was like, I'm confident, and now it's like, all right, let's go. Like, I think they could win the division, but I also don't think winning the division is an absolute necessity because the sport is weird. And ultimately, they didn't win a division last year, and they got to the NLCS. And made it a series until it wasn't. But I think with baseball, especially, it's just about getting into the playoffs and preferably avoiding a wild card situation. Maybe I would say, because you don't want it to come down to like essentially sudden death. But I think on paper, like similar to the Yankees, we just talked about what they did in terms of getting closers to set up their own closer. Although Devin Williams hasn't been Edwin Diaz this year, but you're getting more reliable bullpen help to get to Edwin Diaz, who has been all-star level, minus a thing here or there. You know what I mean? Like, people still run on him every single fucking game. He puts a runner on base, and like he gives up a lot of stolen bases because his delivery takes forever. Like, we get it, but like still, I feel great about where they're at. And for me, it's all about this is what it comes to with sports comes down to with sports teams for me. For me, it's all about philosophy. This is why I give them an A, and this is why I give the Yankees an A too. It's like they're going for it. They're trying to plug holes. They're doing things that make sense. You actually have multiple guys that you can keep that don't have to be rentals in both instances, which I think is important too, because you don't want to just go for it for this year only, because you want to have a window that's ideally maybe 3 to 5. When you have guys on long-term contracts. So yeah, I'm content with what they did. Absolutely.
What's going on with Clay Holmes? I heard people bitching about him the other day. No, I'm dead ass serious. I don't know.
He's an all-star.
I'm not trolling. I swear I'm asking what's going on with Clay Holmes.
It's just not a great outing recently.
Just one bad start?
It wasn't just a bad start. It was like a really bad start.
He got his ass whooped. I'm pulling up the numbers now.
Yeah, but it was only one.
No, there's been a few lately. But
there's been a few.
The latest one that's being reacted to was the Padres. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was literally yesterday. It was literally yesterday because they didn't have they went on a winning streak, and then the Padres series happened, and then the Padres had their way, and then the Padres went out and traded for 1 million people. But Holmes had 2 earned runs and 8 hits allowed in 3 2/3. Not great. 2 starts before that allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings, and before that, 2 starts before that, 5 earned runs in 5 innings. In totality, like a quality year as a starting pitcher.
Okay.
But
lately, 6 starts has been like hit or miss. It's like one good one or one really bad one. One good one, one really bad one. That's how it's been over his last 6 to 8 starts.
Okay, but he's not like what number is he in your rotation? Like
it depends on who's healthy.
Yeah.
This is a constant. Okay. It's just constantly changing. Like, is Senga's available? All right, cool. Then you slide him down. Like,
is Manaya available? Copy. We got Manaya. Copy. Right. Slide Clay Holmes down. That's what it is.
That's really what it comes down to. Peterson.
Are y'all surprised they didn't move Sevy?
I mean, considering the money, no, but I like Sevy.
I like him too.
But I also get why they didn't keep him. They wanted to move their money around in other areas. But I would say Holmes has been probably their 3rd best starter this year.
He has a 3.45 ERA, so he's had solid numbers for the season.
Senga's been great when he's healthy. And Peterson has finally gotten his respect, so to speak, because he's just been solid. But he's boring. He's just a tall, average looking white dude. His name is David Peterson. You know what I mean? He just looks like a standard sort of tall left-handed pitcher. But he's quietly, outside of 2023, been real just solid as a pro, as a former 1st-round pick, and then this year really put it together in a real way. Last year was good too, but he also missed a bunch of time. This year though, he was an all-star for the first time. So I would say Holmes is, 3rd. This is why I thought they could have went and got another starter, but, the price tag was probably too high.
So in his last 10 starts, right, he's giving you 50 innings. And Holmes? This is the thing, Clay Holmes, 50 innings in his last 10 starts, right? But when you look at it, he's only gone 6 innings once. And then 5 innings, 4 2/3, 5 1/3, 5 5 1/3, 5, and then 3 2. He's not going deep into the games because he was a reliever, closer. He has to be stretched out, has to build up the stamina, and that's the issue when it comes to the Mets. It's because their bullpen is so weak before these trades, but now their bullpen is a lot more stronger. So let's see what happens going forward for the rest of the season. I got one thing to bring up, Mets related. Jose Budo had a nice message for the Mets. Thank you to the Mets organization for taking a chance on a kid from Cumana, Venezuela, and giving me the opportunity to make my childhood dream a reality. There were 9 years full of memories, starting with those first few days at the Dominican Summer League. There were so many moments that came to my mind from my debut to our playoffs from last year. They are memories that I will never forget. Thank you, God, for so many blessings, for the health, and for allowing me to do what I love. A huge thank you to my teammates, coaches, trainers, the entire staff, and to the amazing, passionate Met fans. Me and my family will always be grateful of our time in the organization. Budo is a class act. His family is amazing. Brian, what's your thoughts?
This is probably the one guy where I'm like, damn, you needed to trade him. Oh, because he's solid. He's aggravating at times, but I think every relief pitcher pisses you off at some point. Like if you watch baseball and you're a fan of a baseball team, and the Mets are really the only team. I only claim in terms of fandom. I told you this: the Mets and every single Puerto Rican national team that exists. I think with Buto, solid reliever, not always the most consistent, but just solid, like somebody who's like a middle relief type, who you can put out there ideally in like the 6th or 7th inning or something along those lines, depending on the outing. He was better last year than this year, and ultimately you got to give to get. So he's not somebody who's like you cannot trade Jose Buto in order to upgrade your bullpen. Like no, like if anything, part of his performance was probably contributing to the need to get bullpen help. But yeah, I mean, anytime because the developmental process in baseball is different. It's much more long term. You get guys when they're really really young, especially from an international standpoint, like from Cuba, from Venezuela, from Panama, like we mentioned with Caballero earlier, Dominican Republic. You're signing dudes who are 17, 18 years old in a lot of instances, 19 years old, giving them signing bonuses, developing them for 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years before they're able to play in the major leagues. And then they finally get there, and then they become a staple in your rotation or your bullpen or your infield or your outfield or whatever it is. And then you have to trade them at some point because business is business. But like he's been with the Mets organization for a long ass time. They ultimately he made his debut in 2022, and I want to say they signed him as an international free agent. Maybe when he was 19. I gotta look, but he was in their system for a while. Like I remember he was one of their better prospects for a while before they ended up. They signed him as an international free agent in 2017. So
he was 19, right? Yeah, when they signed him.
19. So you're talking about 8 years. 8 years, and this happens around Major League Baseball now. Like there are a lot of guys who like this is the only organization that they know, and now he has to up and leave to the other side of the country in San Francisco. By the way, there's much worse places you can be, also equally as expensive. But like it was cool that he left that message. They signed him when he was 19. They did give him a chance. He earned it. Also, I would say he earned it by pitching well, and I think he'll have a longer career. He's only 27, so we'll see him around for a while.
Yeah. And again, shout out to Budo. I wish him all the best. But you got to give stuff up if you're trying to improve your team, right? And the additions that the Mets gave up the additions that the Mets add, Rogers and the closer from St. Louis, you're going to have to give some stuff up. And now Edwin Diaz, you guys have a 3-headed monster at the end of the bullpen, just like the Yankees. Yankees got a 4-headed monster at the end of the bullpen. I know some people have their feelings about Devin Williams and Luke Weaver. Hopefully, adding 2 guys like David Bednar, like Camille Deveau, can take the pressure off of Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, because we have other guys to go to. This entire season, we've just been relying on Williams, Weaver, Tim Hill. My man Tim Hill is out there looking like Slender Man. My man needed some extra help from the New York Yankees, and that's what they got. They got 2 closers, all-star closers from the National League to add to this bullpen. I'm glad I was able to make you laugh, Grace. I'm sorry.
You're crazy. Oh my God. I know. No, they can't keep running like this. They need help. They're going to get injured if this trajectory doesn't change. So Brian Cashman did his job. He got some help. The reinforcements are on the way. So hopefully they'll be available ASAP and let's roll. They're joining a team that went to the World Series last year, who wants to come back to the World Series again with the American League wide open. So, this is an exciting time to join the New York Yankees. If you look at Ahmed Rosario, if you look at Ryan McMahon, you can see on their faces the difference between coming from a place like the Nationals or the Rockies and joining this squad. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. I will accept no arguments. He will be the American League MVP. Hector, I disagree with you about the big dumper. Aaron Judge will be the American League MVP of 2025. And, it's only up from here. So, I'm happy. Things are looking up. Vibes are way up, And yeah, it's sad because you have to say goodbye to some players. But at the end of the day, when they make these posts like the Mets guy made, it's like all we want to know as fans is that the players care like we care. We invest our hearts, our money, our time, and we just want to have that reflected back to us by the players. When they post things like this on their Instagram or whatever, that just say thank you to the fans and that this was a dream. Like, it means something to us. So amazing that he did that. I'm sure there's going to be lots of posts like that across the league tonight. But, you know, we're looking to the future. And right now, like Bryan said, New York is up. The Mets are looking good. The Yankees are looking good. I mean, it's going to be exciting.
I have the video to play. This is when Caballero was traded in the middle of the game because it literally happened in the middle of the game.
For the place. See Aaron Boone looking over there.
It's like, wait, what?
Stunned.
Right in front of your eyes. Look at the trade deadline show right here for you.
And who did he get traded for again?
A little help from Jack.
Is it been reported?
Real time.
Everson Pereira and another prospect, a lower level prospect. Everson Pereira is was the Yankees' 16th ranked prospect, if I'm not mistaken. 13th, something up there. He wasn't.
That's crazy.
That's
what everybody
summed up
is so
Caballero
weird.
perfectly. He's the guy that you hate when he's on the other team, but you love him when he's on your team.
And the crazy thing, though, about it is that yesterday when I was at the game, I was literally next to Caballero, and we was like having a conversation, me, him. He was being interviewed by a couple of the Latino journalists, my guy Chino, amazing guy. And we was just chopping it up. And now he's traded to the New York Yankees. So I can't wait to be at the stadium next week when the Yankees get back from their road trip. Bryan.
34 stolen bases, by the way.
34. I know. That's a great option to have. You add his speed on top of Jazz, on top of Anthony Volpe, on top of Jason Dominguez. The Yankees have some burners, Grace. We have some burners now. Late game pinch run situations, because he could play third, he could play short, he could play second, right? If Ryan McMahon is on third base in a late game situation, pinch run Caballero, still second, still third, he could still give you plus defense at third base.
For Caballero's career, he's averaging almost a stolen base every 3 games.
But does he know how many outs there are?
Yeah, Austin Wells last night, Bryan. Forgot how many outs there were in the ninth inning. And he got thrown out. And when he went to the dugout, Aaron Boone just walked up to him. I was like, I immediately, because I was in the press box, Bryan, I was like, let me take my phone, let me zoom in on this fucking brand new iPhone 16, zoomed all the way in to see Austin Wells sitting there, and Aaron Boone comes up. I sent Grace the video, just came up to him for 2.3 seconds and walked away. No accountability whatsoever. And when you look at Austin Wells, his offense is horrible. I brought it up. Jason Dominguez getting thrown out between second and third. I don't want to see that, right? But I can live with it, right? My catcher, who's supposed to be locked in, who's supposed to be an extension of the manager on the field, I can't excuse my catcher not paying attention and not knowing how many outs there are. I can't. It's unacceptable. Like I said, Dominguez, I can live with. I ain't going to forgive him 100%. Wells, I can't. Sorry, Grace.
I went back and looked in that Dominguez thing too, and he forgot how many strikes there were, not how many outs there are. That's worse. Also, it was the bottom of the 9th inning. The bottom of the 9th inning.
That's the part.
Also, he just watched his teammate lay down a motherfucking bunt. Why would you bunt if there were 2 outs?
True. Facts.
All great points. Also, by the way, I mentioned Buto earlier. Guess who the Mets play this weekend? I completely just remembered.
Who? St. Louis?
The Giants.
The Giants, San Francisco?
So
Okay.
he'll be back in.
He'll
be back in Queens. He doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to go anywhere.
That's lit.
Not yet anyway. 7 p.m. tomorrow, Citi Field. They need to win that series. Is there anything else that we should touch on before we get out of here? Do we think that deadline related? Carlos Correa going back is crazy.
Carlos Correa going back is crazy. And then for the money that they're eating, you're only paying $11 million this year for Carlos Correa when he was making 37. You're paying him 20. Now, Grace, I'm paying because Brian McMahon is making $16 million. He's going to be making $18 million next year. Yeah. Carlos Correa is only going to get paid $1 million more than him. Carlos Correa is a bit up there in age, some injury concerns. I love what I'm seeing from Ryan McMahon. But as a Boricua, I would love to have Carlos Correa playing third base for the Yankees at that price point. At that price point that the Astros got him for. This is another reason why I cannot stand the Houston Astros.
I heard that after the Carlos Correa trade broke, all the trash cans sold out in Houston.
But like I said, this is the baseball gods being the baseball gods. Carlos Correa going back to Houston is setting it up for the New York Yankees for the Yankees to exercise their demons, and beat the Houston Astros in the postseason, whether it's the ALDS, whether it's the ALCS. The Yankees have to knock off the Houston Astros if this era of Yankee baseball, if the Judge era is going to have any meaning to it.
Luke Skywalker has to face Darth Vader in order to become a true Jedi.
Got me there. You got me there. Wise one.
Let's go.
Brian, what's your thoughts? Because I was just wanting to look up the Mets schedule real quick. What's your last thoughts before we get out of here?
You mentioned the schedule. I just pulled it up and I lost it. Let me check real quick. Giants coming up, which, first of all, get back to winning. That's the main thing. But you just had this big win streak, and then you give it up against the Padres. Not great. You have finally a bunch of home games, so they're going to be back at home for most of August. Giants, Cleveland. Yeah, we're looking at it here. Giants, Cleveland. You're at Milwaukee. That's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough.
Atlanta's always annoying. Seattle's that's gonna be fun. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Mets, Mariners. I don't know if that's ever happened before. Washington, Atlanta. You have a lot of these divisional games coming up. You have a couple of interleague games, and I think you have to take advantage of the home heavy schedule that you have in August, because as you're seeing here in September, it's 3 straight series, 10 straight games on the road, including, by the way, Detroit, who's legit, and also you have Philly, who obviously is, that series is going to be everything. That's also, I think, the last time they play each other. Is it the last time they played each other?
Yeah, that's the last time. That's the last. They close out the season on the road against the Cubs and against the Miami Marlins.
Oh, beautiful. You always want to close out against the Marlins.
Yeah, but like you said, in the month of August, look at all these home games. The New York Mets, if I'm not mistaken, the Mets, they have the best record at home in Major League Baseball, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me in the chat. I'll probably try to correct myself later on after the show. But I believe the Mets, if they don't have the best record, they're the top 3 when it comes to records at home. So they have to take advantage of that. Just like the New York Yankees, when you look at the Yankees home, when you look at the Yankees schedule for the rest of the season, the Yankees have one of the easiest, if not the easiest schedule for the rest of the stretch. Grace, I'll toss it to you because you talked about this on the show. So go ahead, Grace.
So Yankees have one of the easiest schedules in all of baseball for the rest of the time. I think the Jays have one of the hardest schedules for the rest of the time. So we're 3.5 games back as of right now. So look, we got the division locked down pretty much. No, but we might for real. I'm looking to win the division, even though I don't think personally that a wild card entrance would be the worst thing in the world for these New York Yankees. I believe that the rest honestly gets them out of rhythm more than it helps them. Since we've acquired so many arms and we have so many arms coming back from an extended rest VIL, maybe we don't need that extra week for our pitching staff. And so let's not take that extra week of rhythm away from our hitters like we've been doing The wild card wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to me. So either way, I'm Gucci. Go Yankees.
Shout out to Zap in the chat. Appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Mark Teammaker, the next week is going to be rough. Reaper, nothing is easy when it comes to the New York Yankees. It's just like the Mets, right? You know?
Yeah. And the other thing I will add on the Mets front, like Lindor and Pete Alonso got to start hitting again consistently. That's the other thing. They've tailed off a bit. So your best player's got to set the tone. As y'all were just saying about Judge, for example, who, by the way, to Grace's point, currently the favorite, -210 to win MVP this year. Although Cal Raleigh is on his ass, odds-wise. It's kind of a two-man race, and then for the National League, it's just Ohtani, and it's like if he's alive in fucking October, they're just gonna give him the MVP because it's hard not to, like, you know.
But whatever happened? I saw he left the game the other day. What was the news about that?
I mean, he to me, he's always kind of an injury risk because, you know, like this is how he's been. But he'll probably be fine because he'll just it's like when Jalen Brunson rolls his ankle and then goes to the locker room, gets a new ankle, and then comes back and drops 10 points in 12 minutes. So Ohtani be doing the same shit.
Wait, so is he injured or not?
No, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Well, listen, I'm happy he's fine. I'm not a Shohei hater. I think he's a super nice guy and a nice, you know, whatever. I hate the Dodgers, whatever.
Can I give you the report?
He's been averaging what, 3 innings an outing?
Yeah.
That's a bullpen arm. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
He's being stretched out.
They won't use him that way. He had cramps. He avoided and here's the headline from MLB.com. This is why Hector and I were like, he'll be fine because Ohtani exits start early with cramps but avoids serious injury. And every woman who read that was like, really, bro?
I was about, you know what? I didn't say it. I didn't say a word. I did not say a word. I did not say a word.
I'm glad I read your mind.
That reminds me, right? There was this player that played for, hold on, I have the video right here. He played for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he was talking about getting cramps. If you guys remember.
How does your leg feel today?
Oh, feeling good.
What happened to you?
Huh?
What happened?
Just crap.
Just a cramp?
No, just crap.
So you told me what can you eat to help you make you feel better?
Bananas. Why bananas? Monkeys never craps. You know, monkey never crap. Because a monkey every day bananas. 2.
So how many did you have today?
3. How about 3?
Oh yeah. So you no more cramp for you.
I need 3 banana because monkey never craps.
Perfect.
Is this
Thank
real?
Yeah, that's Muniri.
I thought he was saying crap. Like
no, he's
shit.
saying cramps.
Which also would have been plausible.
I love him. Whoever he is, I love him.
Nori Kawasaki was a player from the Toronto Blue Jays. Amazing spark plug. I loved him. He was one of my favorite baseball players when he was in the league. He was like a Ronald Torreyes type of player. Monkey never cramps. So
that's cute.
We're going to get ready to wrap things up because it's 8 o'clock. Grace, you have a life to live. Bryan has a life to live as well. And I have to get off and edit some videos.
Yeah, I'm like ordering food. Like me and my fiance are like trying to figure out
what are you guys ordering on Uber Eats?
Probably Spanish food.
Tell the share with the class, bro.
You see, well, we're deciding on that now, so TBD. But you see the Puerto Rican and Dominican flag behind me. The Puerto Rican flag's because of me. The Dominican flag was because she's like, look, I'm putting my flag there too if you're going to put yours there. And I'm like, well,
can't argue
go
with
ahead.
That.
You know, so
you didn't ask me what I'm going to eat.
What are you going to eat, Grace?
Okay, I'm going to go to Chicken E. That's what we call it down here. If you know, you know. It's called Chicken Express. I'm going to get me some fried chicken, some fried okra, and a side of gravy with a yeast roll and a tea.
And this is Dallas, right?
Yeah, Dallas-Fort Worth. Yeah, Dallas-Fort Worth area.
This is why I want to visit Dallas, because I've heard Dallas is an amazing food city.
Oh, I had an amazing time when I was there.
I gotta go.
Them yeast rolls is banging.
It doesn't sound like it would be. What's in that?
Bro, when she was like, oh yeah, yeast rolls, I was like, oh, all right. When I went down there, bro, and I had a yeast roll, I was about to say, drop out the F-bomb. A yeast roll for the first time, banging.
What is it?
Bread.
How do you not know what a yeast roll is?
Because I'm from up here.
And we're Puerto Rican. We don't have
there's probably a lot of foods that we know that you might not. Wait, so what's in it?
A yeast roll is just like a light, fluffy dinner roll that's made with yeast and sugar. So it's real light and fluffy, and it's kind of sweet. White bread, butter on top.
I'm looking up pictures.
Oh my god!
Oh, okay. I know what these are. Damn, these look good.
How do you not know what a yeast roll is, bro?
We kind of call them rolls up here.
I just call it bread. I just call it a roll. Texas Roadhouse, Roadhouse. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse. They have those rolls, which I love. I've been to Texas Roadhouse once. So when I was down there, I was like, oh, I had these at Texas Roadhouse. These are banging.
These look like Hawaiian.
That's close. The Roadhouse ones are a little heavier.
Mark T.
Yeast
Maker in the
rolls are
chat.
real light and fluffy.
He said, Mark Bronx yeast roll ? Yeah, thank you, Mark. Thank you. Shout out to Mark T. Maker in the building. My man Hector as well. Appreciate you. Jonathan, appreciate you. My man Froggy Fresh. Froggy's from Texas, you know. So Grace, she has some backup. Another Texan. It's in the chat. He's an Astro fan though, but he's an Astro fan that I love. And we was actually on the live when the Carlos Correa trade happened. Froggy was so excited. Shout out to my guy Froggy Fresh. Also, Grace, when I was at the All-Star game and I was on the field for batting practice, Hunter Brown was like walking behind me, the starting pitcher for Houston, and Froggy's like, Hector, Hunter Brown. And I walked up to him, I was like, Hunter, can you come and just say what up to the chat? My man Froggy's he was like, oh yeah, what up, Froggy? Let's go Stros, Froggy. So shout out to Froggy. Shout out to Hunter Brown for doing that.
Will you please get Jason Dominguez to say hi to me just one time? That's all I ask.
I'll try my best.
Actually, forget it. You're sending me the Yankees cowboy hat. That's all I ask.
I gotta I'm gonna ship this because I'm headed out to a wedding in the morning. So when I get back, so on Monday, I'll ship this out. Okay.
How excited! So excited.
Yes, Brian.
Thank you guys so much.
Discord. We're plugging it officially.
We're plugging it officially. Okay. Official tissue. Want to play the video?
Is it done?
It's not 100% finished.
Who cares? People, if you've watched for this long, this is your reward.
This is your reward.
We got something coming.
We got a video to play for y'all. Shout out to y'all that are in the chat because Brian and I are doing something. 2 seconds to pull it out because I have it right here. I know this is awkward now. 0734. There it is.
Who gives a shit? This is supposed to be silly. This is not supposed to be like OD professional. Are you tired of social media? Do you feel like you can't have regular online discourse anymore? Well, we got the place for you.
Are nasty trolls on Twitter getting under your nerves?
Is everyone pissing you off underneath your posts and telling you to go censor that part?
Do you want organic growth and do not want sex bots in your chat while you're live streaming? Going off the timeline.
Are you tired of people putting links to Stream East in your live chats?
If you're voting for Zoran Mamdani, this is a place for you. Yo, stop what you're doing.
Hector and I here are starting a Discord channel. This is going to be a chat for sports fans and honestly for anybody who wants to join with good intentions. We're going to be cultivating a space to talk about sports in a way that's different from what you're seeing on social media. It's called Off the Timeline. We're going to have every sport and every sporting event covered or just about. And Hector, do you want to add more into this? Because we have a lot coming. It'll be basketball, it'll be baseball, it'll be tennis, it'll be soccer, it'll be everything, boxing, obviously, because if you follow me, you might follow me for my boxing content. We're going to have everything covered, independent creators and a whole bunch of just people just really connecting with each other on a real level, away from what you see on social media in 2025.
Yeah, like you said, the name of it is Off the Timeline, right? So that's whether you're an expert sports fan or whether you're a novice sports fan, or if you're just getting into sports, this is a place for all of us to come together, like-minded individuals, and share our sports takes. Like I said, if you're a novice fan that's just starting out, sometimes being on Twitter and sometimes being in the ecosphere, that's Instagram or any social media platform, it gets kind of scary when you want to just put out your take and not know what you're going to get back in return. Here at Off the Timeline, this is a place that fans understand that your take is not going to be policed. Your take is not going to be scrutinized. My take is not more valid than Bryan takes, and et cetera, et cetera. This is a place not only for fans, but for content creators to come together and build a community that's not toxic. Because in 2025, the one thing we're trying to avoid is toxic spaces and toxic communities.
And it's free. That's the key. It is free. Now, in order for it to remain free, support the people who put this together, support the creators that you want to support, and also don't be a dick. Then you won't get kicked, because we're going to have a policy in terms of who can and can't stay. So just be cool, don't break the rules, and come talk sports.
Yeah. And like I said, this is a place for all of us to come together, build community, and find our family. One thing that I would like for us to be able to do, Bryan, as we jump into this adventure, not only use this as a place for us to come together online, but a place for us to come together offline, right? A lot of IRL meetups we can put together. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff off the top of my head because this is Off the Timeline.
So join Off the Timeline. It is free. It is going to be for you, the sports fan or the consumer or the content creator, whoever you are. So join the... Could you tell we didn't sleep that much before doing that?
No, it was good. And Hector, wearing the same shirt. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I didn't plan that. It just happened to happen. So when I popped up on the screen, I was like, damn, I'm wearing the same shirt. People don't think I ain't take a bath or something like that. I be bathing, y'all. Also, too, I realized I played the wrong one because I have one that's a little bit shorter. But hey, Off the Timeline is the name of the Discord. Great. Bryan, if you want to speak to the people and let them know.
We said it a bunch. We'll be posting the link, and we'll be doing it. You'll be doing it on your videos. I'll be doing it on mine. I don't know why my voice cracked there. Look at that. Almost got emotional, Grace, going back to what we were talking about earlier.
So close.
So we will be posting it on our social feed. So look out for that when it's official, which will be any day now, honestly, at this point. We have stuff to post. We're trying to find our communities and really, just get together with people who want this type of stuff, and learn about the people who obviously support us as well. So subscribe to our channels, follow us, and be ready for Off the Timeline, because social media is not the greatest place to build in 2025 if you've been looking around a little bit, as we say.
Facts. And again, I want to take a few seconds just to shout out the people behind the scenes that helped put this together. Shout out to Nabila from Latino Sports, an amazing journalist. She is the combat sports correspondent for Latino Sports. Again, like I said, amazing journalist. She was somebody that was pivotal and coming together with a lot of the background stuff when it comes to like the terms of services and a lot of
shit done.
Getting shit done.
Getting shit done. That's what she does.
How it is. Getting shit done was what Nabila was doing. Shout out to Nabila. Shout out to both Future and Ghost as well. Future actually put the actual app together, the actual Discord together on the server. So shout out to Future creating the rooms. Ghost as well. They're going to be moderating it. But shout out to Nabila, Ghost, and Future. Pivotal roles and pivotal behind the scenes helping put this Discord together. But
I have nothing to add. Grace will be there as well. We'll force her to create a Discord account, because I don't think she has one.
Yes,
but she'll be there.
I had one, and my phone was blowing up, and I was like, "Fuck this," and I deleted it.
We'll show you how to mute the notifications.
Yeah, we'll show you.
I'm in like four Discord channels now, not including ours. So I just have my notifications muted. I come in when I come in, and I leave when I leave. On ours, I'll be more active because it's ours. It's all of ours. So we'll be
ready for if I join this thing. Get ready for me to really talk a lot about college football.
Oh, you have a room for that? There's
a thread for every single sport that matters. College football is there. College football is there. And I will check with Future to make sure. But college football should be.
No,
there. I don't know if I'll be in college football the thread that much. I'll be in. You'll find me in basketball, all of them: NBA, WNBA, FIBA, combat sports, especially boxing. You'll find me in baseball, and I'll pop in during a fantasy football season for football as well.
Thank you for reminding me, because you brought up combat sports, and the little ADHD fairy in the back of my brain was like, you got something to say. Forgot to tell you this, but yesterday when I was at the Yankee game and they had the WWE people there, you know how I'll be working, we move my thing, networking and stuff like that. Going forward, I and Latino Sports will be at every WWE event that's in the local tri-state area, or if I'm out on the road, but I'll be working media with WWE as well. So guys, make sure you guys are tuned in. For those of you guys that are wrestling fans, WWE fans, Latino Sports, and you got Hector Beauchamp, it's credited now going forward with the WWE, and I will be at every event going forward that's in the tri-state area that I can actually afford to go to.
Those are fun. Not the easiest to get to if it's not at the Garden or Barclays.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But that's dope. Those are fun as shit. I have some questions about the direction of the product, but we can talk about that like a different time.
That would be the room in the Discord for. That's what the room in the Discord is for. But guys, Bryan, thank you again. We got to do these more often. Grace, thank you as well. Shout out to your hubby as well for letting you use the office for our MLB trade conversation. So I appreciate you. We was on all day. We had Dexter on in the morning. Great conversation with my guy Dex. I was on again with Dex as well, and it was awesome. Go ahead, Grace.
Well, yeah, I'm counting all the people we had on today. We had Dex on. Keep going.
Oh, we had Dex. We had Ace. Brian was on with us. Erica came on as well. I was on later on with Dex. Jason was on as well, and he was on with us. But then he messaged me. He having technical issues. Shout out to my guy Jason. But no, it was a great convo. Grace, last message for the people, and we wrap it up.
Last messages is I'm happy. I give Brian Cashman an A. And I'm ready to fight for the right to parade. Like, let's go. You know what I mean?
I love that. Fight for the right to parade. That needs to be a t-shirt. And if anybody comes out with that t-shirt, I'm going to whoop you. This is a copyright 813. All right, 813 copyright right now. Shout out to Brian. Make sure you guys subscribe to Brian. If you're on Uptown Sports TV, the link to his channel is in the description. Also, his social media is in the description as well, and vice versa. If you guys are over there on Brian's channel, subscribe to Uptown Sports TV. Everybody out there, visit Latino Sports as well. We're cooking up. We're going to be doing a lot of great stuff, especially with the NBA coming up. We will be covering the NBA and the New York Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns. Mikal Bridges just signed his extension. The New York Yankees and Brian Cashman is cooking, and David Stearns and the New York Mets. Thank you, Steve Cohen. As a Yankee fan, I can say thank you, Steve Cohen, because if the Mets didn't make these moves, I don't think Brian Cashman would have been this active at the trade deadline. And I'm just being honest. We live in a vacuum in New York City where everything is what have you done for me lately. And if the New York Mets and their fan base caught the back pages and was as irritable as they are to Yankee fans when they got Juan Soto, you know Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner was listening. And that's why I think they made those moves.
It's a great time to be in New York, and it's a great time to be in Texas with New Yorker friends.
And got to wrap things up. Brian, last thing.
If anyone is interested in boxing being ruined forever, I'll have some live show on that next week.
I gotta go. Y'all are messing around.
Later, y'all. Deuces.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.